Back in this country, the debate over high-speed rail will pick up steam next week as President Obama finalizes his plan to upgrade the nation's rail system. It is expected to cost billions, but is that a price Congress is prepared to pay? Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
This is the quiet part. No cell phones, no laptops.
At Washington's Union Station, the morning rush for the express trip up the Northeast Corridor. 2 hours and 45 minutes from D.C. to New York.
Baltimore Penn Station coming up in just a few moments.
Another 3.5 to Boston. A hit with passengers and President Obama's working model of a new transportation system that makes high-speed trains a national priority. The ultimate goal, as many as 11 high-speed corridors on both coasts, the Midwest and Deep South, using $8 billion of economic stimulus money as a down payment and billions more later.
I think you're going to find the development of true high-speed rail in certain corridors in the country where you're going to see high-speed rail at over 200 miles an hour.
High-speed trains are already common in Europe and Japan, where bullet trains do speed along at 200 miles per hour and more. But this is the country's only high-speed rail line. The Acela train travels from D.C. through Philly, through New York, and up to Boston. It can hit 150 miles per hour, but because of track limitations, it really averages just 84.
In order for us to go 150 miles an hour to use the capabilities of Acela, we need an investment right now of about $5 billion between Washington and New York.
$5 billion just to upgrade the Acela route. In California, a planned high-speed line from San Francisco to L.A. is projected to cost $45 billion, which means the $8 billion in the stimulus package not yet allocated may not go very far.
We need to focus that money on the #1 line in this country, New York to Washington, where we could best prove the success of high-speed rail.
The real cost for a high-speed network, hundreds of billions of dollars for trains and tracks. The question for Congress, whether a national high-speed rail network is worth the investment. Tom Costello, NBC News, on the Acela.
The FEMA plans to imprison American citizens have generated a lot of interest around the country in locating the potential prison camps throughout the country. These may be facilities currently being used as prisons, such as those you saw earlier, or prisons that are being built supposedly in the name of the war on drugs, or facilities that have other uses but which could be quickly used to detain large numbers of people, such as this Amtrak facility in Beech Grove, Indiana. We're standing now in the main parking lot, which doesn't look too sinister. At this level, it is a very large parking lot, fenced on all sides by fence topped by barbed wire. It also has these electronically operated turnstiles. There is also a surveillance camera, just like we saw at the FEMA facility, pointing out to the parking lot, and a helicopter windsock. All of these apparent security measures are particularly unusual here, because this is a very low crime area, and this facility is nothing but an old train repair station with nothing in it worth stealing. Many of the old warehouse buildings have had new concrete floors put into them. Unused sections of railroad track have been dug up and replaced, and from the supplies in the stockyards, it is obvious they will be doing even more construction and fencing. Senator Lugar of Indiana recently obtained more federal funding to renovate this facility, which is supposedly only for the repair of broken trains and where most of the buildings on the property haven't been used for years. It certainly appears they are expecting more than just broken trains. This tower, overlooking the entire facility at one end of the facility along the railroad tracks, also has a radio antenna on it with a ladder up inside of it. It would make an excellent watchtower.
The people who are running this country from behind the scenes do not care a thing about Americans or bloodshed anywhere. I think we're going to awaken one day to find out that we've all been too relaxed and entertained and watching television and being entertained with all the cares of life, never realizing what is going on in this country.
Well, the swine flu vaccine has raised concerns with people across the world. A new survey shows that 1/3 of British nurses have said that they will not take the swine flu vaccine because they're worried about the possible side effects. Now, the swine flu vaccine from back in the 1970s, which is supposed to be pretty similar to the one that's being offered today, has been linked to a neurological disorder called the Guillain-Barré syndrome. And joining me to discuss all of this is RT contributor and investigative journalist Wayne Madsen. Wayne, thanks so much for joining me. First of all, can you tell me who has taken the swine flu vaccine so far, and what have you heard about it?
Well, apparently there has been a test community used already. We're also hearing that the vaccine that's being developed, they're saying it's not for everyone. Apparently children were used as for lack of a better term, guinea pigs in Oklahoma. I know from talking to people in the research community, even scientists who helped develop the vaccine for smallpox are saying they're not going to take the vaccine and urging their friends and family not to take this vaccine either.
And what kind of side effects did these children have, if any?
Well, contained in the vaccine is a component called thimerosal, which has been proven, half of it is composed of mercury, and it's been proven to cause not only Guillain-Barré syndrome, but also autism in young children. There's been several court cases because of past vaccinations due to the autism issue.
And so how will this swine flu vaccine be offered? Will it be mandatory for people? What have you heard about that?
Well, there was a conference here in Washington last week where we have two themes present. We have the research community, the medical community, saying, look, what we need to provide the public is good information, and let them make the decision based on facts. We have the emergency community, the Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency people talking about forced vaccinations, forced quarantines, basically the politicians running the show instead of the people who are from the medical community and know much better about the threat of this particular influenza.